More arrests are made in connection with a string of burglaries in Jasper. 15 people, including several Daviess County natives, are busted as part of a multi-state meth ring. And Kurt Guxell talks Jasper football ahead in sports. All of that and much more is up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news, more juveniles have been charged in connection with multiple burglaries, including one at the old Jasper Wood Products building that occurred over Labor Day weekend. Jasper police charged 8 more juveniles yesterday with various counts of burglary, criminal mischief, and trespass in regards to a string of burglaries, including the Jasper Wood Products break-in, which occurred on Labor Day. All of those charged yesterday were between the ages of 11 and 16, and all were males. The juveniles were students at Jasper High School, Jasper Middle School, Southbridge Middle School, and Northeast DuBois High School. All 8 juveniles that were charged yesterday were released to the custody of their parents and guardians. These charges mark the second round of charges made in this investigation. 6 juveniles were charged with burglary, criminal mischief, and theft on Tuesday in connection with the investigation, which solved burglaries at a home owned by Chris Falkenberg in the 1500 block of Mill Street and a burglary at a home along Riverside Drive. Police say most of the incidents involving all of these juveniles occurred over the past summer break, but some of the incidents in question go back as far as January of this year. The investigation continues, and anyone with any information on these or other incidents is asked to contact Jasper Police at 482-2255 and to speak with Detective Sergeant Rick Chambers. Calls may also be directed to the anonymous tip line at 481-COPS. 15 people have been busted in a meth investigation that stretches across 3 states. According to the Daviess County Sheriff's Department, 14 individuals had warrants served on them for their connection with a multi-state drug ring following an investigation that lasted for 18 months. Another person is still wanted in connection to the ring, known as the Allen Marshall Methamphetamine Distribution Association. 43-year-old Alan Marshall of Washington was arrested on Tuesday on state charges for conspiracy to possess with the intent to distribute 50 grams or more of methamphetamine, in addition to federal charges of conspiracy to distribute over 500 grams of methamphetamine. Marshall was one of 9 people arrested from Washington in the case. The investigation was originally opened by the Daviess County Sheriff's Department, and the Drug Enforcement Administration, along with Indiana State Police, also became involved and obtained information that was brought to a grand jury. Daviess Superior Court, as well as the U.S. District Court in Evansville, issued federal and state warrants for the 15 that were arrested. Those arrested on federal charges for conspiring to distribute more than 500 grams of methamphetamine were Marshall, 43-year-old James Coy of Washington, 34-year-old Marcus Newson of Washington, 41-year-old Christopher Kimmons of Coldwater, Mississippi, and 36-year-old Anton Austin of Long Beach, California. Those arrested for violations of federal statutes on money laundering were 55-year-old Haven Ramsey and 56-year-old Ruby Ramsey, both of Washington, and 68-year-old Barbara Kimmons of Coldwater. Washington residents Jeffrey Fox, 47 years old, 47-year-old Rhonda Lewis, 34-year-old Jennifer Sandoval, and Adam Tolbert, who is 26 years old, as well as 32-year-old Eunice Leisure, who had no known address, were arrested on state felony counts of conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine. 23-year-old Leroy Ellis of Washington was arrested on a state felony warrant for conspiring to distribute more than 3 grams of meth, as well as more than 30 grams of marijuana. 43-year-old David Merritt was arrested on a warrant as a federal fugitive from justice. The investigation is still ongoing, according to police. 2 pounds of crystal methamphetamine, in addition to some marijuana, cash, and firearms were seized from the criminal enterprise during a raid on Tuesday. The Washington Police Department, U.S. Marshals Service, the U.S. Postal Service, the Internal Revenue Service, the U.S. Army National Guard, Vincennes and Evansville Police Departments, the Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Department, and the Daviess County Prosecutor's Office all assisted with that raid. A Lagodi woman landed in jail following an attempt at stealing from a local store. Jasper police were called to the Trader Bakers in the 800 block of 3rd Avenue in Jasper just before 2:40 p.m. yesterday afternoon on a report of a woman attempting to steal merchandise. Police determined upon arrival that 66-year-old Joyce Jones of Lagodi had attempted to take almost $81 worth of miscellaneous items from the store. Jones was lodged in the DuBois County Security Center on charges of theft. The Southeast Du Bois School Corporation last night recognized 3 members of the district's faculty and staff for recently being honored with the Peabody Energy Teacher of the Year Award for the 2012-2013 school year for Region 3. Not all of the honorees are necessarily teachers, as was the case in the Southeast Corporation. Instructional assistants, bus drivers, and heads of maintenance are also among those eligible for the award. Randy Sickbert, head of maintenance for Ferdinand Elementary, as well as Pine Ridge Elementary teacher Brenda Wire, and Tina Goffinet, a teacher at Ferdinand Elementary, were recognized last month at the Evansville Country Club, where 30 educators from Regions 2 and 3 were honored. The Peabody Energy Leaders in Education program honors dedicated and compassionate educational professionals with awards and recognition at the annual dinner reception. Southeast Du Bois Superintendent Rick Allen says the recognition is an example of how all staff members go above and beyond their responsibilities.
They're fantastic employees and teachers of our school district. Randy Sickbert was awarded this year. Randy does not only his head maintenance duties, but he's chairman of the Veterans Day program at Ferdinand Elementary. And what's nice is everybody pulls together, whether it's an instructional assistant or cafeteria worker, to make the entire team function, and that's one of our successes of our school district.
Award recipients are selected anonymously throughout the school year by a committee of top educators and business leaders to be recognized as a leader in education, and they receive $1,000. Region 3 consists of 10 counties in west central Indiana. Julie Schnell, a 10th grade world history teacher at Jasper High School, was also named an Educator of the Year for Region 3. One teacher from each of 6 regions, all communities where Peabody Energy is present, is chosen as the Overall Educator of the Year award and is awarded $5,000. Ferdinand Elementary teacher Ginger Rashi was last year's overall winner. Also last night, the Southeast Board held a public hearing for the corporation's upcoming budget. Last month, Superintendent Rick Allen reported the assessed value of taxable property in the school district for 2013 was down $2.5 million from 2012. However, value has increased this year. The district's assessed value came in at over $336 million for 2013. Allen said the new budget was figured on a lower assessed value as recommended by the Department of Local Government Finance. Allen also noted the corporation was holding its own with grants and is carefully watching the operating balances and reserves created by maintaining a strong fiscal oversight. He added that he and the board do not plan to reduce staff. However, he says there are too many unanswered questions to be sure. No one from the public spoke at last night's hearing. The board will formally adopt the budget at next month's meeting, which is set for October 2nd. Finally, last night, the board was presented a check for $2,000 from Sue Fink and Angie Seffernick, co-chairpersons of the Ferdinand Heimat Fest. Each year, the Heimat Fest Committee provides a portion of profits from the fest to various clubs, groups, schools, municipal, and civic organizations across the Ferdinand community. The $2,000 gift to the Southeast Du Bois School Corporation was in appreciation for use of the auditorium at Forest Park Junior-Senior High School, where the Heimat Fest Little Miss, Mr. and Queen pageants are held every year. The money will go towards any repairs or improvements that may need to be made to the auditorium. The $2,000 donation was among the largest handed out by the committee, with the Ferdinand Parks Department also receiving $2,000. A total of $8,356 is being donated back to the Ferdinand community by the Heimat Fest Committee this year. A former candidate for Indiana governor has announced his plans to run for the Indiana 8th District congressional seat in the 2014 election. Andy Horning, a native of Owen County, has announced that he intends to seek the 8th District seat, which is currently held by Republican Larry Bouchon, a native of Newburgh. The 55-year-old Horning has run for governor of Indiana twice, most recently in 2008. In 2012, he ran for U.S. Senate and garnered about 6% of the vote for the seat that is now occupied by Democrat Joe Donnelly. This marks Horning's first attempt at running for the 8th District seat. Bouchon has represented Indiana's 8th Congressional District since 2011. He was re-elected in 2012, and the Libertarian candidate for the seat that year, Bart Gatto, won roughly 4% of the vote. Local counties that are part of Indiana's 8th Congressional District include Crawford, Du Bois, Davies, Martin, Pike, Perry, and Spencer counties. Additional counties that are at least partially included in the district are Clay, Gibson, Knox, Owen, Park, Posey, Sullivan, Vanderburgh, Vermilion, Vigo, and Warwick counties. Tonight marks the official kickoff for this year's 46th annual Dale Fall Festival. The event will run through Saturday at the Dale City Park. The Queen pageant for this year's event was held on Sunday at the Heritage Hills High School auditorium, with Gina Wall taking home the top honors. Dale Fall Fest Chairman Mark Liebehusen says the event serves as an opportunity for people to come back to the Dale community.
The importance to me is the gathering of people, the homecoming. There's a lot of people come home to the Dale Fall Festival. The monies that we make go back into the community for grants, for different things. that we can help our community grow. We try to have something for everyone, and like I say, it is a family community, and that money is pumped into every organization. Along with Heritage Hills, we have several high school groups that we help out, and to me it's just family.
Events being held this evening at the Fall Fest include a cheerleader dance team performance, the Little Miss and Mr. pageant, which started at 6:30 p.m., and a euchre tournament that's just now underway. Other highlightable events at this year's Dale Fall Festival will include gospel music, courtesy of the band Santa Claus UMC, from 5 till 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, ATV polls at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, and the parade, which is set for 2 p.m. on Saturday. A beer garden and children's games will also be featured as part of this year's festivities. Coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform featuring Brandy Wire with Lincoln Amphitheater. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.